Rheneas and the Dinosaur. It was a very exciting day on the narrow gauge railway. Some paleontologists had recently discovered a dinosaur skeleton. They were planning to put it in the Sodor Museum. But first, they wanted to take a picture of it with an engine for the Sodor Times newspaper. Mr. Percival, the Thin Controller, came to the sheds to talk to his engines. "I will need 2 of you to deliver the dinosaur skeleton to the transfer yards," he said. "Then Stepney is bringing a photographer to take your picture." Duncan hoped he would be chosen. "I would love to have my picture taken in the newspaper," he said. "Just imagine how handsome I'd look." Peter, Sam and Rusty just chuckled. The Thin Controller then decided that Skarloey and Rheneas would be chosen. "You 2 can take the skeleton," he said. "You might as well. You are my 2 oldest engines, after all." Rheneas and Skarloey were delighted. "It'll be lovely to work together properly again," chuckled Rheneas. "I can't remember the last time we did a job together." "Neither can I," replied Skarloey, "but it'll be a wonderful time." Duncan didn't say anything. He just scoffed. "Never mind him," said Rusty. "He's just jealous." Rheneas and Skarloey chuckled. They knew all too well that Duncan got jealous quite easily. And so did Sir Handel, before he was sent to the stone quarry, that is. But when the day came when the dinosaur was to be taken to the transfer yards, Mr. Percival had some bad news for Rheneas. "I'm afraid that Skarloey has taken ill," said Mr. Percival, "and there aren't any other engines to help you with the dinosaur, Rheneas. You'll have to take it on your own. I'm very sorry about the change in plan, but there's nothing else I can do." "That's okay, sir," replied Rheneas. "You couldn't help it." And Mr. Percival walked away. But Rheneas still felt a bit upset. "I know I've worked without Skarloey before," he said, "but I was really looking forward to working with him today." "Cheer up, old boy," said his driver. "You can do this by yourself, surely. They don't call you the gallant old engine for nothing, you know." Rheneas chuckled. "You're right," he said. "If I can get my passengers home on a jammed valve gear, I can do this." And Rheneas hurried away to the place where the dinosaur had been found. Soon Rheneas arrived at the site. The dinosaur skeleton was very big. But Rheneas was surprised for a different reason. "Why have they built it on a flatbed?" he asked. "That can't be safe. Shouldn't they have put the bones in trucks?" "Apparently they want a good picture of the dinosaur before they put it in the museum," said the driver. "I don't understand it myself." Rheneas just chuckled and carried on. He was coupled up to the dinosaur, and he puffed away. He still felt disappointed that Skarloey wasn't helping him, but as Mr. Percival had said, nothing else could be done. As Rheneas puffed through some stations, people cheered at him when they saw him pulling the dinosaur skeleton. Rheneas felt very proud. He almost forgot to be worried about Skarloey. But then came trouble. On the way to the transfer yards, Rheneas had to climb a big hill. But it was very steep, and the dinosaur skeleton was very heavy. "I can do it! I can do it!" panted Rheneas. He heaved and strained, but it was no use. He just rolled back down the hill. "Oh no!" he groaned. "Maybe I should have had a back engine after all. But then again, Mr. Percival did say there wasn't anyone else available. Part of me does wish Skarloey was here, though." "Lighten up, old boy," said his driver. "You did your best." Surely that counts for something. Rheneas took that into account, but he still felt that he'd let the thin controller down. As luck might have it, just at this moment, Skarloey had come out of the works. Mr. Percival had sent him to go to the transfer yards to shunt some trucks. But when he got to the bottom of the hill, he was surprised to see a big dinosaur skeleton on a flatbed blocking his line. He immediately recognized the engine pulling it. "Having trouble, are we, Rheneas?" he teased. Rheneas recognized that voice. "Skarloey, you're back!" he cried. "Yes, I have been having a bit of trouble. It seems this hill is a bit too steep for me. Part of me has been wishing you were here." "Come on, Rheneas," Skarloey chuckled. "We both know you're too stubborn to give up. Here, let me give you a hand." And he buffered up to the back of the flatbed, blew his whistle to say he was ready, and he and Rheneas pulled the dinosaur skeleton up the hill. Rheneas was very happy that Skarloey had helped him. "This is just like old times," he thought to himself, thinking back to the days when he and Skarloey were young engines. Soon they got to the transfer yards, just as Stepney arrived with the photographer. "Hello there," he said to Rheneas. "Got the skeleton here in one piece, I see." "Indeed," chuckled Rheneas. So Rheneas and Skarloey got in position for the photograph, and the photographer took it with his camera. "Well, if there's one thing I've learned today," Rheneas said to Skarloey, "working with your friends can be very fun, but sometimes you'll have to work with your friends even though it's not on the plan." Skarloey chuckled, as Rheneas smiled happily.